currency. But no, he was like, I deal in human people.
Deal in people.
Body organs. Welcome back. Welcome to Shade Talk, episode 57. I'm here with Ethan, myself, DJ, and our guest, Zach.
Hello.
Zach is one of Caleb's friends. We met. You and I have seen each other at the rec.
You'll have a deep bond in 5 minutes.
We saw each other at the rock climbing.
Okay.
I was there with Caleb, and then I talked to you for maybe a minute.
Did you climb?
I did climb.
Okay.
I used to climb a lot
He does not
before that,
remember
but
you.
not anymore because I got really into MMA.
I mean, that's a fair trade-off.
Yeah, it's funny, though, because I got injured more in MMA than rock climbing. Like, I have a shoulder that still pops to this day, but, like, I have no injuries from maybe a messed up toe, but, like...
It's disgusting. From rock climbing?
From MMA.
Oh.
Because I kicked some guy. I told you this. I kicked a guy, and whenever he blocked it, my big digit was coming, and he went like that as hard as he could because he's this new guy who's never been, and then I just couldn't walk like for 3 days. I remember the first day I was like, oh, this isn't a big deal. Second day I'm like, okay, this kind of hurts. And then the third day I had school, and I'm walking on campus, and some people were scared of me because I looked like a drug addict because I was limping, and I'm like grunting because it hurt so much, and none of my shoes have like foot support.
Was it broken?
Apparently, I went and got an X-ray, and apparently it was like the muscle was like extremely like because my toe was like black, and the guy was like, your muscles. I forget the term, DJ, but
Sprained?
Not sprained. What is it? Whenever you're like running or something, and like you stub your toe, and then like the muscle is like. Because I know you ran in track. Do you remember?
The muscle can be like bruised or
Yes.
or pinched.
It was like
Sometimes it can be pinched.
it was a little bit of both of that. So, and I was just like, and he's like, yeah, I don't know why you're walking. He's like, how long has this been? And he's like, well, it started hurting on the third day. And he's like, this is the third day? He's like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like, he's like my age, and he works like right up the street at that ankle place. And I've met him before, and he's like, what are you doing? No. He's like, do you have class tomorrow? And I was like, no, not till Thursday. And he's like, good, no walking. He's like, just stay home.
Did it heal up?
Yeah, it's fine now. Every once in a while, like I can pop it on command. I don't want to pop it, but I mean, I can. It's super easy. I just did. Out of habit, I just pop it. But no, did you ever do sports?
I did. I played football for a little while. I was big into basketball. And then I quit basketball my junior year of high school because we were literally the worst team in the state of Texas. We were 0-31.
Underdogs.
I quit midway through the season because I didn't play. I was playing center at 6 foot, probably like at that point, 190 pounds. I was going against kids because I'm from the Houston area.
Yeah.
And so there's some pretty good basketball teams down there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going against like other centers who were like 6'6", 250, you know.
Where were you playing? Why were you playing center at that point?
I don't know.
Devontae Brown, 15 years old, 300 pounds.
We actually had a kid. Do y'all follow college basketball at all?
Somewhat.
So there was this team we played. It was Morton Ranch, and they were in Katy, and they were they were potential state champions. They may have won state in 2020 when COVID hit.
Yeah.
They were good. But they had 2 kids who went to go play like D1 basketball. One is on Houston right now.
Okay.
He's one of their star players, point guard LJ Cryer.
The Houston
player.
Rockets, right?
No, sorry, the Houston Cougars.
Oh, Houston Cougars. Okay.
Killed us, destroyed us. I think he probably had like 35. And then they had a center who's, I think he played at TCU for a while, but he went to, I think, a Pac-12 school. I don't know which one. Eddie Lampkin, big old kid. He was stellar. But I had to play up against him. And
Good God.
he was just bodying me around, just talking insane amount of trash. And I was just like, my coach pulled me over and he was like, play some fucking defense. And I was like, coach,
This nigga's all offense.
Coach, 6 foot.
I can't
center.
do anything.
He's massive.
He is huge. Great player.
He grips the fucking basketball.
He, at one point, I got taken out because I wasn't doing anything. And he...
Oh yeah, he's with Colorado, University of Colorado now. So
Okay. No, and he dunked on us and like straight up. I thought he was going to pull down the rim, and he is just like flexing on this one kid who was on our team, and the kid got pissed and he comes over. Coach calls a timeout because the crowd is going crazy, and the guy's like. He's like, Coach, I got this. Like, Coach, he's not going to do that again. And our coach was just so defeated at that point. He was like, he is. He's going to do that again. He's going to do that again. And there's nothing we can do about it. I think we lost that game 130 to, I think, 30. I think we lost by 100.
Legend.
I scored 2 points. So I got 2 points.
I'm really
there.
putting it in.
I have. My dad tried to get me to play basketball when I was like itty bitty, and I'm not a big dude, obviously. And I remember I was like 7, and I shot the basketball up. It hit the rim, and then it hit me in the face. And my dad's like, he's got no athletic capabilities. We had a soccer team growing up, and I would pick flowers according to my parents. I'm like, I love sports. I like MMA. That's the only sport I've ever been good at. I don't really count rock climbing as like a very competitive sport. I consider it like you're competitive with yourself, you know, but like I don't know, just MMA.
Yeah, I think it, like rock climbing especially, like once you start getting into the higher levels, it becomes a sport. But I think for a lot of like the lower level stuff, it's like more of a hobby.
Yeah.
And I know there's been a lot of discourse about that.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of interesting to see.
I think my argument for all of that is whenever it's in the Olympics, that's when it's considered an official sport. Because, I mean, honestly, did you watch the Olympics rock climbing?
I did.
It was crazy. I watched it too. And, I mean, if you just watch, I know you don't know anything about rock climbing.
Yeah.
It's
my favorite sport.
I know, it's probably the things where you know the least about.
I feel like because it takes so much athleticism to climb a rock, it takes calisthenics at the most. I feel like it should automatically be a sport because like you can't just be a person that doesn't rock climb and just go into the gym and try to free climb the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
I agree, but one thing that I've noticed a lot is every once in a while when you're at the rec, I mean, you work there. I don't know if you noticed this, but once in a while in a blue moon is you see a weightlifter, they kind of be like, I got time to kill. Let me try it. And then they would just get like face slapped because they would expect one thing. They thought they could muscle their way through it. And then meanwhile, their arms are like just dead.
Yeah.
Because I think it takes such a different level of, because like you can take things you learn, like pure raw strength that you get from the weight room, right? And you can translate that to climbing, but to an extent, because it's like you can power your way through certain things, but then once you start getting into like technique things, like I'm trying to think of a good one. It's
like holds,
yeah. Like you think like everything's going to be, just pulling.
Yeah.
Up, but then it's like, okay, I got to grab this hold like this and then get my foot positioning all the way up to my hip and then use my body in a certain way to position myself for that next move.
I don't remember the name of the technique, but it's like when people have their arms like this and then they literally use their arm, they put their foot and wrap it around.
What is that called?
It's a thing.
It's insane.
for me, like when I climb, or when I've been climbing, especially with Caleb, normally, majority of it, I just used my legs to get through the entire ordeal more than
That's
anything.
like something people don't realize is super important with climbing is like how important your legs are.
Yes. Oh my God. I remember I only know one rock climber, and it's this gentleman who used to rock climb in the 80s, and they did this thing they had this group called the Stone Monkeys. It's not pop. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. And they just muscled through everything. They're like not really muscled. They use technique, obviously, but it was like where most rock climbers are like 90% technique, 10% muscle. It was more like a 30-70% ratio. And I thought, oh, I'll just do that. And I was like, oh, fuck no.
Yeah, you can't.
Because I mean, up to like V3, that's when I would just muscle. And then like when I got to V4s and like dynoing and all that, I was like, no, I had to learn now.
I hate dynoing. I hate dynoing
That's
so much.
that's how I messed up my shoulder.
Really?
Yeah, because so dynoing is like frog leaping on a wall. You
yeah.
you like push down. You get like
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
You literally like I say it's like leaping like a frog because you spread all your body parts out. And I remember I went for a dyno and it was on like I don't know the name of it, but like the cylinder spherical holds. And I remember I went like this, and I was like, and I was swinging. I was like, okay, I can recover this. And I swung that way. My arm was still on it, and then I just heard pop. And I was like, okay, I can't rock climb for like a month.
Where have y'all been climbing at?
Me and Caleb, we would go to this place,
Canyons climbing.
Canyons rock
Canyons,
climbing,
okay.
and then I did it at the competition at the rec. I was pissed because I don't remember the name of this kid, and I'm sure he's a nice guy, but it was this. I think it was actually at karaoke that night, but there was this kid with orange long hair. He was a guy.
Your rival?
Yeah.
He was about my height, and again, he's doing his job. I do not blame him, but he's like, "Hey, can you belay for me?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. Just let me warm up." And he's like, "Oh no, sorry." I was like, "What?" And he's like, "I know you just said you're warming up, but I'm not gonna let you belay because I don't like your form. I don't like how you did it." I was like,
Damn.
"Okay."
So then why would you ask me in the first place?
And I was like, "Okay, cool." I was like, "I understand you're doing your job." I like literally this. I was talking. I was like, "But can you show me how to do it properly?" I understand I can't belay. I just want to know how to do it. And he's like, "Nah, man, I'm in a rush." And I was like,
Was it for the comp?
it was for the comp.
Okay.
And me and Caleb were the last ones there because we were just late. We were running behind. And I was like, "Listen, man, it's just, can I watch you do it?" I was like, "You don't even have to explain it. I just want to watch you do it." He's like, "I guess." And then he kind of like, you could see him half-ass it. Again, I don't know what his day was like. I'm not trying to shit on the guy. He was at karaoke.
Yeah.
I assume he's a great guy then.
Yeah.
If you're
I think it was those comps. Those comps sucked.
I'm willing to bet. I was just kind of like, I was pissed off because I was like, you fail me, and I'm asking for help. Like, come on, just help me out.
Yeah.
So I
Are
don't.
they that competitive?
Dude.
It's so I think the big thing with that is so at the UNT wall they hold themselves to a lot higher of a standard than most climbing gyms. Just because there is so much legal and liability issues.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That if like something happens, it's because stuff has happened at the rec before where like people are injured.
Yeah.
Luckily, not really at the climbing wall, but like, I mean, I think there's been a few deaths in the time at UNT, like at the rec.
Yeah, that
and
wouldn't.
So there's a lot of like legal liability issue with it. Which is like kind of interesting because it's some of the other local climbing gyms. It feels like you just kind of go through a course real quick, and it's like, oh, okay.
I mean, to learn how to belay, it's sort of like, all right, you just go. They teach you an acronym, and then off you go. But it's
Cool.
That's literally it. That's the entire thing. And then if you want to do bouldering, they say, all right, this is how you fall. Go for it.
I've seen some of the shittiest belays at like some of the other local climbing gyms, and it's like genuinely like terrifying.
I will admit, when I first started, or when I went back a couple months ago just for the fun of it, my belay was terrible. And I remember I was at UNT and I kind of saw someone and they were like over there, and I was like, "Hey man, like I'm not trying to do anything. Can I just watch you belay to remind myself?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." So. But I was like, holy shit. After watching them, I was like, oh, my form is atrocious.
Me, I'm just like always like on it. Like sometimes like it's like mine is bad to the point where it's like I'm belaying to the point where it's actually pulling you. Like it's actually giving you assistance.
I think that's almost better. Like I know people would like debate that, but I think like purely coming at it from like a safety perspective, because I worked there for like 2.5 years, and it's like that gets drilled into you so hard, like being safe, because there is such a risk of like liability things. Like I'd much rather see somebody who's like pulling too hard than somebody who's like got like so much slack in the rope that if the person falls, they're gonna hit the ground.
That's my big thing, because whenever Caleb and I went to the competition, he was like, I want you to belay me because I know how you operate. And I was like, yeah, I don't mind. And I didn't get the thing. I was wearing like this strap or like this wristband. They're like, you can't belay. I was like, all right. And I remember he was climbing, and I asked someone, I was like, hey, can you belay me? And I remember your guys, there was something going on. I don't remember exactly what, but nobody was really watching the person that I was with. It was this guy who was from out of town who just like wanted to stop by. And he's like, yeah, I'll belay you. And I was like, okay. And I remember I'm at the top, and the guy's on his phone. And I'm like, all right. And my grip is going out because, side note, it's like 50 feet tall. It is. I'm pretty sure it's taller than my house. Like,
I bet it is.
I'm willing to bet probably to the peak of my roof is like the highest I went.
Fuck.
So imagine that. My hand is getting out. I'm yelling. Yeah, actually. And I'm like, because the guy mentioned his name, and I was like, I don't remember his name, but I'm going to call him Zach because, you're here. I was like, Zach. And he's just like on his phone. So I'm kind of like, I feel my rope. I'm like, I'll be fine. So I just let go, and you see him jump like a foot up, and he's just like, oh shit. And I'm like, and I get back down. I was like, dude, really? Because I'm not afraid of confrontation. I'm terrible with people, but I was like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? I was like, if I had a little more slack, that's a problem for you guys. So
That man said I felt my rope and said, fuck it.
no, I mean,
Let's just see what happens.
you got to remember, like, this sounds like this was all in the span of like a minute. This was probably like 5 seconds overall because my grip was gone. I
Did
remember
you at least get to the top?
Yeah, I rang
Okay,
the bell.
good.
I think that's why he didn't hear me because at the top it's like this dome almost because it's so tall. Because I could put my hand on the actual like top of the thing. And I'm willing to bet he just didn't hear me.
Yeah.
But I remember looking down. I see the guy on the phone.
Just the fact you're on the phone while belaying. Like,
I'm pretty sure
you have to have
You have
two
to be
hands.
aware. You have to be like completely aware of what's going on.
I mean, here's the thing. If like he had an emergency call, no, that's not even an excuse.
No. It's not.
It's just a dick.
I'm pretty sure he was just on Instagram because I remember seeing his hand. I visibly saw his hand like going like this, and I saw his phone going like that.
Scrolling on Instagram.
And I was just like,
oh shit.
I was like, I'm going to die. Because
Like, fuck.
have you ever? You've climbed, I assume.
Yeah.
Have you ever had just like so like you let go and there's so much slack, like you like? I'm not saying you hit your head, but you hit the wall hard.
Yes.
That's my least favorite thing.
There was one time I was climbing with my girlfriend. Love her to death. The weight difference is pretty high.
So you're dragging her, aren't you?
And she should have clipped it into like the anchors and stuff because that helps with like weight difference.
Was
You won't
she
get
climbing
blood.
or were you?
I
belaying?
was climbing.
Okay, got it.
I was climbing. She was belaying, and I'm like, I go to do a move and I don't get it, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna come down and try it again in a little bit. And I'm like, hey, can you bring me down? And she's like, yeah. And I start going down, and I go down extremely fast.
Yeah.
And I get to the bottom, and not gonna lie, I was a little pissed. I was
yeah.
I was like, yo, what? Why did I go down that fast? And I turn around and I look up, and she's probably like 5 feet. I pulled her off the ground, and she was just standing like. Not standing there. She's sitting up in the air, like completely wide-eyed.
It's like that scene from
Yeah.
SpongeBob.
And she was like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, no, it's okay. I'm fine. I was just like, why did I come down so fast? And she was like, I just got pulled up and, the rope was going fast. I was like, okay, no worries.
She's
No
getting
worries. We're
hung.
cool. Just clip in next time you're belaying me. Our weight difference is, it's a little bit too much for the rope. So yeah, next time we'll just clip in. And she was like, okay.
But the crazy thing is, like, the weight difference doesn't have to be like
No.
abnormal. It can be like 10 pounds. I went to canyons with my friend Marissa. She's not big, but she's like calisthenically a beast. I think it's because she doesn't weigh that much. But I mean, you would look at her and you'd be like, okay, but I think at the time she probably weighed about 100 and I weigh 150. And so she's just like, all right, I'm climbing. And then so she's climbing. And no, I'm climbing. I apologize. And at canyons, they have the ones where you can actually put your hand into the wall and climb it. And I'm like, and she's doing her best she can. This was like, I think her like second or third time she ever went. And I'm like, hey, my grip's going out, get ready. And she's like, okay, cool. And then as soon as she says cool, I'm gone. I remember I'm flying. Like I had very long hair and I could feel it like going up like that. And I remember out the corner of my eye, I see her, like her feet go up, and there was somebody who happened to be just like waiting on us, and he grabbed her feet, and he was like this 200-pound guy, and he's bear hugging her feet, and then like luckily, I just feel my momentum go like that, and like I get hit by whiplash because I was going that fast. And then she's just like, she had no idea what happened, and I was like, well, because we weigh different. And I think it was like a week until she went back.
I just keep that shit tight. Like I just keep it tight as possible, especially when they get to the top. Like I tighten it even tighter whenever they like get to the actual top, and then I'll just be then like me. I think the thing that Caleb doesn't like is that I don't give him slack when I'm letting him down.
He gets pissed.
I don't give him slack at all.
I used to go with him and Caleb, and I remember a big issue that we would have is slack because our balls, our crotch would be just like. We would climb fast because since he was so good at slack, the best way to explain it is we would climb fast to relieve the stretch because he's that like you have it that tight, and it's not a complaint at all.
Right.
It would kind of force us to do better if anything.
Right.
I had one. Speaking of that issue, I had one. We had this guy because I'd work over the summer, and we'd have. I mean, I think it was like 6-hour shifts. So we were just at the wall all day, and not gonna lie, it was kind of boring because it's like not many people were coming in over the summer. But we had this one guy who would come in every single day. Yeah, and this guy was big. Like I'm talking, I think he was ex-military, just big guy. Yeah. Like I bet you he was a beast on the squat rack. Like I never saw him do it, but I could tell this man was like just strong as anything. And so I'd never gotten lifted off the floor before. I'm a big guy. Yeah. So I would be like, okay. And the only times I ever even had to like really clip in was when we'd have like football players come by and be like, oh, I can do this. I'd be like, okay, these guys are like dense, so I'm going to clip in. Yeah. But I was like, this guy doesn't look too big. He's a big guy, but I think I can handle him. And he is climbing. I didn't have my harness that day. I'd left it at home. And so I had to borrow one of the UNT harnesses. And he falls. And the way that the harness was sitting, something got trapped underneath it. And when he fell, I got lifted up and all the pressure was put directly there. And I had to leave work. I was like, I actually think I need to go to the hospital.
Got castrated.
Straight up. Yeah. I was like, is this how it ends? Like, you're never going to have kids because some dude fell while rock climbing.
Start having white flashes.
My friends, they're all from the MMA gym. They're all, I don't know if you know, do you know anything about MMA? Or
a little bit.
Okay. It's all very like calisthenic based. It's all technique and calisthenics. You can weight lift, but like you can't have strength and conditioning like your football strength and conditioning, like plyometrics, but it's not required. So I know a lot of guys there that are calisthenically strong. And they're like, I want to try it. And I remember my one friend, he's like, hey, I'm going to go this weekend. Can you go? I'm like, nah, I can't. And I was like, but send me recordings. And I remember it was his first day and he got a V4 and he's doing, I literally said it earlier, the vaulting, the tree, the frog jump, the dinos. He's doing it and he's just like, it's like a rabbit. He's like bouncing left, right. I think he did a V4 that was only that in about 30 to 45 seconds. And I was like, how do your hands feel? And he's like, well, it's easy because do you know what judo is? Judo is the sport where you're throwing people over your shoulders and the gi. And he's like, he used to do that, so that's all grip because you have to grab like fabric as tight as you possibly can. And I was like, and so since I was training for like 2 years, I was like, I want to go back to rock climbing. I was like, holy shit, this is so much easier now because all I did was like calisthenics shit, and then I lifted someone at the rec. But also talking about the rec. You were talking about like fatalities there, like possible like incidents. Y'all drive like y'all ride my ass what I mean by that is like, y'all are super strict.
See, I can't speak for the rest of the rec, like because I only worked at the outdoor pursuit side, so I really don't know anything else besides my one little area.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I've heard stories. I've heard some stories about
Because my thing is like when I squat, I don't clip or I don't use clips on my weights because let's say I got a bail or let's say like somebody like people are surrounding me and then I got to like tip it. You know, that's just how I do. And I remember some girl, like, she's literally watching me squat. And then, like, she comes up and she's like, hey, I don't want you got to put the clips on. I'm like, okay, cool. And then I remember I'm changing the weight. Like, I'm clearly changing it. And she's like, remember, don't forget the clips. And I'm like, okay. And then I change weight again. I go down because my finisher, I always do, like, 145 plate. And she's like, remember, don't forget the clips. Next week, because I didn't see her the rest of the week, I was benching, and again, I didn't use the clips, but I will admit that's on me because I should bench with clips. And then she's like, hey, I got you clips. She's like, we had extra clips. Just carry these with you for the rest of the semester, and then at the end, give it back to me. And that's literally, so every time she saw me, she's like, how are them clips? I'm so serious, dude. It was crazy.
It's kind of wild.
I know. I never got her name, and
I'm taking her clips.
it's funny though because this semester I have not seen her, so I'm assuming she just graduated me. But I gave them the clips back, and there's this one guy that I know that used to work there. His name was and I was like, hey, whatever happened to that girl? And he's like, dude, I don't know, because he worked shifts with her.
It's crazy how people can just like come and go at the rec. Like you're like, oh, I saw you this one week, and you never see them again.
I worked at this town rec for 2 years, and I remember the faces would just fly by because I worked as a lifeguard. Every once in a while, I went over to your side of he worked there also. He worked front desk. I worked at the water park. I remember you would just see like a face like one day, and then you would never see them again. It was crazy.
Yeah, it would be like so different. Especially because, you know, at Rex, depending on where you work or in what position you work, you're not getting too many crazy hours like that in a setting. So it was kind of weird seeing like over there because it would be like a different high school. Like every week it'd be a different setting. I'd be like, I ain't never seen you before. Where'd you come from?
Well, what's like the age range at the rec? Because I assume it's like 18 to 24.
You'd be surprised. I know it is mainly 18 to 24. But then there's also like, there are quite a few like older individuals who like come in and stuff.
Yeah.
Like there was this one patron who was great. Like one of my favorite people I like ever met at the rec, and he'd bring his like 2 kids in, his wife in.
Yeah.
And so it's like a weird kind of variable, especially like kind of at the rock climbing. Like it is definitely a lot of younger people, but then randomly you'll have like your regulars who are like over the age of like 30 or 40, and then they just come like every weekend, and you get to know them really well.
See, that's actually, now that you point that out, that's true, because I go in at 6 because I leave the house to get to UNT at like 5:30. It's just, I honestly would prefer that.
Got to get the parking spots.
Yes. And so I love it because I show up, I'm always the first car in my lot because I park right by the rec. And I remember I'm like the first car, and I get to kind of choose where I want to be. Like I'll be like, oh, I'll be here today or here today. But whenever I show up at 6, there's like 4 guys that I always see who are like maybe 60, and they know me by first name basis now. So I was like, and then everybody else, it's like younger people who are around my age that I never talk to. But like those old guys are always like, hey, Ethan, how was work? And I was like, oh, it was good. And they're like, you still working here? I'm like, nah, I just put in my 2 weeks. And I'm like, oh, okay. The nicest people I ever see at that rec are like the older ones.
They're really cool. So I know y'all don't go to UNT. Have y'all been to the recs at y'all's campuses?
I've been to the rec at my campus. I don't know if y'all's are like 2-story, but we have like our gym is kind of not too big. It's kind of really cozy. Kind of like if you ever been to like. It's kind of like that. But pretty much, so we have a track at the top, like a ring at the top, but of course you can't wear spikes on it or anything like that. But we have like a track at the top, and then it's just the gym at the bottom. and stuff like that. But ours is 2-story and stuff like that. But it's rarely ever crowded. Like UTA, even though people know it, it's not really a flooded school like that, because I think UNT's right there and then SMU is right there.
Is it more of like a commuter campus?
Yeah, it's more like a commuter campus. Like a lot of people live in that area already, so they just walk up there, ride their bike up there, or drive up there already. So, yeah.
What about you?
I don't know where shit is, dude. I've only so this is my first semester at UTD, and it's like I know where my classes are, I know where a Starbucks is, and like that's it. Well, it's because like, dude, because 2 of my days I go from 4 to 5 p.m. and it's either I stay there all the way to like 9 and wait for traffic, or I leave immediately. And also, I know it may be crazy. I'm not athletically inclined. I know. I'm not a 6'8" jacked black guy.
I wish they definitely had more at my rec. They probably have gotten more, but I started being one of those commuters myself, especially because when I started going there, it was during like straight when COVID happened.
This kind of POs me
Straight
because he lived on campus, right? He basically, his room, so it was all, and basically an apartment in my opinion. It was like 3 bedrooms, bathroom. Hang on. He had no roommates.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
What?
the first semester I had one roommate. Then the second semester he wasn't there. And then for half of my second semester I didn't have a roommate.
But from what you told us is like he just dipped halfway through the semester. He didn't even finish and so me and Caleb, he kind of started to hang out with all of us. He was like, yeah, y'all can just, I mean, we can't really have people over. And me and Caleb were like, dude, just like, we can bring sheets. Like, everything was still there. Like, there was a bed. I
think it was the parking.
That's fine.
No, because like
take the
I
ticket
know at UNT they're kind of like adamant about towing, but like UTA, they're like on it.
Dude,
like,
we could have figured it out. But me and Caleb were like, dude, we could literally just like spend the night here, go get like Waffle House the next morning. But we never did. And it's like, and I'm so jealous because you had you practically had a 3-bedroom apartment to yourself.
I did.
But you kept all your shit in your room, which I never understood.
Did
Yeah,
you
it
ever
was
double
packed.
bed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did double bed myself.
I was like, but I'm like, you have a 3, because you walk in and you think like no one would live there, right? And then his room would be at the farthest end of the layout, and you just walk in and all of your shit is like everywhere, like it was packed. And I remember I was just like, this man he basically lives by himself. He has a kitchen, a bathroom, a shower, all to himself. Everything
You had
was
a
in there.
kitchen in your dorm?
It was like a sink and a microwave.
Okay.
But I mean, okay,
Prison.
put an oven in. Like, you know what I'm saying?
They could have put an oven in there. I liked how spacious the common area was a little bit. I just didn't like
no one
how
was there.
old it was though.
You've been to Caleb's old apartment, right? Have you ever been inside?
Yeah.
I genuinely think Caleb's apartment was a little smaller than his apartment.
Yeah.
Damn.
But his aesthetically looked better than my
I
apartment.
don't know if you've ever been to Caleb's apartment, but his old apartment, that roof was like 30 feet tall. I never understood.
I just didn't like they didn't have fans. Like that really pissed me.
They had
It-
a fan, but it was at the
It was
top.
at the top, and I was just like, "How do you like?"
Adjust.
It's like 5
This was
minutes before it hits you.
33, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, the 33. Yeah. Oh my God. I was so jealous of him because I was like, imagine having like that set up to yourself.
I couldn't imagine doing dorms though.
His
It
like
sucked. It
Caleb's
sucked.
apartment was nice, but his roommates were just.
We don't talk about those. We wanted to watch
He turns into a mom when he
I
goes
wanted
to Caleb's apartment.
I wanted to watch a fight, right?
Yeah.
And so Caleb had this like shitty TV, the shitty couch, and we're like, and he's like, I asked him, I was like, hey, it's just us 3. Do you want to be in your room or do you want to be in the living room? He's like, we're in the fucking living. Like he said exactly like that. He's like, we're in the fucking living room. And I was like, okay, it's your place. And so his roommates start coming by, and they're just, I'm not going to get into it, but they brought like 7 or 8 girls. and they were all huddled. You've been in the apartment, right? You know where the TV is,
like
and then that room right next to it.
No,
They're
so
all
we're
in that tiny
No,
fucking
so we're
room.
sitting down, right? So there's a room, like, so it has 4 rooms in total. Caleb's room is like the closest to the door.
Yeah, he knows the layout.
Yeah, and so pretty much the other guy, his room is like behind the TV, like right next to the counter.
Yeah.
And so like every like I'd say probably in 10-minute increments, like he would come and open the door, and it would be a
Another girl.
then another one, then another one, then another one. I was just like, so he's.
And so, but every time someone walked in, you kind of, I never looked at Caleb when this happened, but you would see him and you kind of hear like a groan or like a grunt. You hear the door, you hear a female voice, and you just hear Caleb go. But it was, and I remember I asked Caleb, I was like, hey, do you want to make food? And we're like, yeah, let's make some burritos. And I was like, all right, where's the spatula? And he's like, over there by the air fryer. And so I told him about this. So I get the spatula, I hand it to Caleb. I was like, yo, this is a nice air fryer. And he's like, don't touch it. And I was like, why? And he's like, you don't. He's like, I'm a clean freak. And he's like, you don't want to see it. Because Caleb's become accustomed to it, but I could never live like that. And Caleb's like, just don't mess with it. And so my curiosity got the best of me, and I open it. It hasn't been cleaned in probably like 5 months because I remember, I'm pretty sure I saw like bugs festering surrounding it. And I remember I looked inside his microwave because we needed to heat up like some type of dish for the burritos, the tortillas. We wanted to heat up in the microwave to be fast. I remember like the entire roof and walls are just like covered in just grease and shit. And so, and I remember why Caleb was so heated about his apartment is because I think at the end of when DJ stopped living there, I think Caleb began living at UNT.
Yeah.
And so I remember there's like a week where Caleb was like just so pent up because of his roommates, and then he went to his place from what he told me, and Caleb called me. He's like, bro, fuck this. He's like I live with 3 goddamn like fucking like dirty like teenagers, and then I go to DJ's apartment and it's pristine. There's nothing.
It's just him.
Yeah.
Didn't he move out because of black mold?
Yes.
Yes.
What?
So that was
remember?
that was the final straw. But like I remember he was livid whenever Ethan got there, because me and him got there, and he's just like, bro, I've been asking them to clean the dishes for like
I
a
clean the
week
dishes.
now. So then Ethan's just like, I don't even care if I don't know where shit goes. I'm just gonna start cleaning shit, and then they can just find it.
I remember did you go to his birthday party that he had at his apartment?
Yes.
I think we were there also.
I really don't remember.
Is that the party?
Where? Yeah. It was in that tiny apartment, and we always had to like use his bathroom. It may have been a different party, but I had to ask Caleb. He'll be here later today. But I remember going to the party, and people were just throwing dishes around. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just spend 5 minutes. I'll clean this, do this.
Do you work here? No.
I'm serious. If you take me out, like if you just want your apartment clean, man, just throw a party and just be like, Ethan, have fun. That's my fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw a party. I think maybe sometime this week. It's only gonna be like it's a small get together, more like it's BYOC. When you're in cleaning supplies.
It's just him.
Dude, I'm serious. If you said that, you see me with an apron, like those yellow gloves. I have a bleach in one hand, the scrubber in the left. I'd be like, where's it at?
Bro, he washed those dishes in the span of like probably like 10 minutes.
Oh my god,
Dude, I love cleaning.
It's
But it was
scary,
filled
man.
on both sides to the brim because it was a pretty nice size. It was a pretty nice size sink on both sides.
Okay, I'm going on a little rant. But you know like how in your sink you have the cleaning and the drying like sink? Both sinks were filled up, so I just redid the sink entirely. Like they had like the mat in the left one, and I'm like, no, that's not how it works because the kitchen design was the the washer was on the left. So I'm like, you build from the right, you work right to the left. And I was just like, I went on a whole spiel that night. I I did as much as I could without Caleb saying something or getting mad at me. Because one thing about it is Caleb doesn't like whenever I do this, because it's like, one, I'm in his apartment fucking with his shit. And then two, it's like he has roommates. But if it was my way, I would have just cleaned everything. Yeah. I was having the time of my life.
And there was one roommate and you were just like, he gets no bitches. There was one where, I don't know what happened, but like I think he was trying to do the same thing that the other guy was doing, where he, like every 15 minutes he would have like a girl come over. But there's a girl that came over and he looked at her and he looked at him and he's like, yeah, he's getting no play.
Well, he answered the door. First of all, if you're trying to impress a girl that you don't really know well,
hey,
he got up to the door. He was wearing like these shitty like fucked up Adidas slides with like sweats. He had his Nintendo Switch in his left hand.
He sprayed too because I heard him.
He sprayed cologne, but his outfit was like covered in like dirt, and not dirt, but like stains. Mm-hmm. And I remember he got the door for this girl, and she's not like dressed up, but she's wearing a nice outfit. Mm-hmm. And I remember I looked at him, I looked at the girl, I looked at DJ, and I did that rotation 3 times. He went in the room and I looked at DJ. I was like, this man gets no bitch.
He's getting no play tonight.
He's not even like, he's like, he probably did all that work. Mm-hmm. He's not going to get anything tonight.
Well, the other roommate, the one that lives right by the TV, that room, he brought like 7 girls, and they're all staring at us because it's 3 dudes in an empty living room watching UFC, eating tacos.
The male dream. The male fantasy.
And you've been in that apartment, like, it's nothing.
No.
And so they're all just like, what the fuck are these guys doing? And then the other girl... I remember the guy looks at us, the one that I was like, that gets no bitches, and he's like, "What are y'all even doing?" And I was like, you got a girl in your room, my guy. Why? Are you
it wasn't going well, and he wanted to watch UFC with y'all.
That couch is too tiny for him. That's all I'm saying.
It's already packed. That's what I don't know if I could do roommates, man.
I didn't talk to my roommate at all. Like
for the 6 days that he was there.
Well, that's like one thing. Like I said, probably one thing, and after that, because like he would be on the phone like at like 12 a.m. and just talking to somebody. Man. I don't know if he was talking to his girlfriend or something, but he sounded like he was having a real hard conversation.
Well, okay, let me ask you something. Would you rather have a roommate that wakes up super early or goes to bed late?
Early.
Early? What about you, Zach?
I'd say late,
because I'm up at like 4:45, to be honest. Mm-hmm. That's just how I am.
I like it late because I don't want to wake up the same time as you.
Because my classes were later. Like I would go to class at like 11, so I'd be like, if they get up early, I still got like probably like 3 more hours.
Are we talking like roommate or housemate?
Either or.
Yeah.
Okay, roommate, I would say get up early, but like housemate, I'd say like stay up late.
I don't ever want to see you.
Because it's like, I don't know. The idea of like with the housemate, right? It's like I go to bed, I'm probably not going to hear them like scuttling around like at nighttime.
Right.
Just because I'm like, I'm like so far into sleep. But like, I'm starting to get up and I hear like a big thud. And I'm like, okay, I'm awake now. But with a roommate, I'd much rather them get up early. Because so with our dorm, right, it was a shared room.
Oh,
damn!
It
sucked.
No, I had to get that private dorm.
It was rough. Just because it's just so weird that like colleges charge an exorbitant sum for me to stay in a room that's maybe as big as this space right here.
Yeah,
with 2 beds, 2 people sharing a room that big.
I'm pretty sure it's smaller than this room, to be honest.
That's a barracks.
It's
military.
It was straight up barracks.
Rise up.
Because I was like, I'm thinking about getting like the lunch card. What is it? The swipes or whatever. Yeah. I don't remember the name. And I remember I was sitting there. I was like, how much is because I only need to eat technically 2 days out of the week. So I was like, what is the cheapest amount? And they're like, $300. I'm like, that's not bad, but that's not good. No. Because I was like, if that's the case, I'm just going to go to the buffet. I have a 3-hour wait period before my next class. So I was like, I'll just go at the first minute of the 3 hours and stay there till like the last minute of the 3 hours. Straight up. I think that's what Caleb does, because I call him a significant amount of like throughout the day. I remember, I think it was like Tuesday or Wednesday. And I was like, hey, I got home from campus, and I called him at 11, and he's in the lunchroom. And I asked him, I'm like, oh, you're there? And he's like, yeah. And then I think I called him back at like 2 because you were going to go meet that one guy. And then I was like, where are you? He's like, oh, I'm in the lunchroom. And I was like, did he just sit there for 2 hours, just work on homework, eat, work on homework, eat?
Down.
I mean, if he's hungry enough.
Dude, it's a buffet. I'm getting it.
I mean, yeah, if I'm paying $300.
Have you been to the buffet?
I've been to the one by the rec center once. They made chicken fried steak that day. I got 6 of them. And dude, I eat a lot. I'm getting my money's worth, like you just said. And then I went to the other one. I don't know the names of them.
Is it the big one that's like almost food court style?
Yeah, and then it had like right when you walk in, it's like the Indian veggie vegan food. I think I've been there. I went there with Caleb's family. It was for his orientation, and he's like, "Come with me." He's like, "You're gonna go here one day. Come with me." I was like, "I don't know." He's like, "I'm gonna get food." And I was like, "I'll be there." And because I was still going in community at the time, and then he was like, and then I think I spent like his family went on without me because like we kind of split up. And I remember I was just like, I think I was in there for about an hour. Like they stayed for, I think I like went in by myself, with them. And then I stayed a little bit after it. And I just kept eating because I mean, there was so many options. I wanted to try a little bit of everything.
I genuinely hate that place so much.
Which one? Both of them?
No, not the one over
the
by
second
the
one?
The second one, the food court style one.
Why?
Oh, it's the illusion of choice that just really makes me mad.
That's a very good way to put it.
Because it's like, okay, so when they first opened up freshman year, it was like they were like, UNT, they're like, we are the best school in the state of Texas for food. We're the #1 ranked school in the nation for food.
It's like a grilled
and
cheese.
It's like, it's not. The food is not that quality. And so like, I remember like when they first started opening, they were like kind of changing things pretty often. Like it'd be like, okay, here's breakfast style foods one day. Here is like a home style country dinner one day. Here is like seafood kind of thing one day. Like, and they had multiple places that were like changing it up. But by the time like a month later, it was like the same thing at every single place every day. And it gave like you have the illusion of choice because there's so many options. But like some of those places just sucked, in my opinion.
It's funny that actually now that you say that, because the first time I went, I tried a little bit of everything, and I remember the pizza very vividly, because I was like, "Oh, okay, this is good." And I remember me and DJ went with him one time. It was me, him, Caleb, and then someone else. I don't remember. And I remember I was like, "I want that pizza again. I want to see how it tastes this time." And I remember sitting there, I was like, this is the exact same pizza that I ate about a year ago. And I
don't change up the recipe.
It's like it's you have the base, right? Like I get having the same base, but I think every single time I went in there, because eventually like the like Mexican food area was good, but it made me so sick. Like that was my favorite thing, but it made me so sick. So I just kind of stuck to pizza for a while.
No, I get it.
And it was like cheese, pepperoni, sausage, and then it was like cheese, pepperoni, sausage. I was like, okay, maybe we'll add like a cool flavor sometime soon. And then, for like a few weeks, cheese, it's like, cheese, pepperoni, sausage.
But the issue is like, it's not like that I'm having pepperoni pizza like 6 weeks in a row. That's one thing. But if I'm eating the same, like it's in the same exact way for 6 weeks in a row, I will kill myself. Go ahead.
I mean, we would at UNT was kind of similar. Like we would get like the same base stuff every day. Of course, they would like do like, so they had like an Asian food part. Then they had, actually, I think like on some days they would like do like different cultures. But I know the Asian place stuck there like the whole entire time. But they had like an Indian food one. It was not. It was. I know you're good.
That's fine.
It was not giving what it needed to give, like authentic was. But like you thought it was you thought they would have like the solid stuff that that just holds true.
It's really
hard.
Indian food can be hit or miss, dude.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's this Indian place that I love that's maybe a mile, 2 miles from here, And I remember, I think they switched owners or something. And it's just, my sister doesn't agree with me. We've had this conversation a lot, but they just don't make it the same anymore. And now it was so good for like 5 years straight.
So we missed out. Oh, I know. You're talking about the other one.
Yeah. And then now it's just like complete. It just doesn't taste the same. And it's so disappointing.
We'd get food trucks. Those would be like the good days, like where they would bring food trucks and they'd have different types of like grilled burgers and briskets and stuff like that. So we'd get like that, like probably like every other month or so to kind of like change it up. Or they'd have like a food truck in the middle where it kind of served certain different things.
I just can't imagine being in y'all two situation where you live on campus and even for a semester or two, and then you're just eating the same dish because I can eat the same thing when I make it, but I can't imagine someone making like you having the same goddamn pizza.
See, that's why I started going to like the one over by the rec.
Yeah,
because they at least kind of it was maybe the same thing.
They do like
every
a dish
2,
a day,
3 weeks.
Yeah,
but at least it was changing, and so it was so much better because it was like I'm not eating that.
It's genuinely like it's so much smaller, but when I went with Caleb, like everything was broken. Like I couldn't get soda, I couldn't get lemonade. I think the water was messed up, and I was like, all right, whatever. So I just got ice. I literally got ice, but I was like, man, this is like there's only like 3 things I could choose, but like they were all good. And I was like, that's what I need. I don't need like the same thing that's I need like 3 things that are good. But I also noted you were talking about like housemates and roommates earlier. Okay, so you're mad at him, right, for having an apartment by himself, right?
Yeah.
Now, imagine a house to yourself.
Dude, it's a fucking dream.
He has a house to himself.
So
I don't know if I could do that.
Essentially, my
It's not a big house, I know.
Okay.
yeah, it's just a one story. My folks work out of town every week, so I just kind of fend for myself. I don't know any other way to live. I cannot live with someone else. I refuse. When they come back, I get pissed. It's my house now. But yeah, I'm so used to having a house.
Yeah.
An entire space to yourself.
It's the life.
See, I think I get spooked too easily to live by myself like right now. Because it's like, like maybe one day I'll be like, okay, I have my own place. I'm just kind of rocking with that. But like right now, it's like I hear a bump in the night. I'm like, what was that? Like,
That's how
what's going on out there?
For most of my life, it's they go dip out and I'm just there by myself. So I'm used to it now. But yeah, there are some nights I would like, it's my fucking dog, man. It's a little Yorkie. And you know when dogs look at something but there's nothing there?
Yes.
And you're like, oh, I'm haunted. Cool.
Cool. The house I'm staying in it right now, it was built in 1947.
Oh, yeah, it's haunted.
Fuck no.
And so at one point,
the hash
on
slinging slasher.
Thanksgiving, my roommates or housemates, whatever you want to call them, they left to go to the Ren Fair. Yeah. And it was just me for that weekend.
Wait, Ren Fair?
Yeah.
Renaissance Fair?
Yeah.
Oh, that's badass. Okay.
I kind of
want to
go to
cool
Ren
ass
Fair,
costumes,
yeah.
I won't lie. And I had wanted to go with them originally, but I couldn't get the time off work because I'd already said I could work a few shifts. And I'm in there by myself, and I'd invited some friends over to like come and watch a movie. And the second night, nobody was like free. Everybody was going home for Thanksgiving, and it was just me. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna go to bed early tonight. So I'm in bed and I'm watching
like 5
watching
p.m.
YouTube videos, and I hear. So we have like beads that hang in like the doorway,
Right.
and all of a sudden I hear like the beads move.
Yeah.
And I was like,
It's over.
I was like, that had to be the air conditioning unit. That had to be the air conditioning unit. And like, it doesn't make sense for it to be the air conditioning unit, but that's what I'm telling myself it
better
was.
be.
And it like randomly, like you'll just be home, and I know my other roommates are in their rooms, and you just hear like the house creak, and I'm like, I don't know what that was. I'm just not gonna mess with it though.
I hope it won't bother me, and I won't bother it.
But
Like, yeah. I mean, sometimes I'll be at home and I'll hear something and I'll be like, well, it hasn't tried to murder me yet. So
I'm not on its list.
Yeah, so like I've been here this long and it hasn't tried to murder me, so I'll let it do. If it is a ghost, I'll let it do whatever it's gonna do or whatever. But like for me, that's not what scares me. I think real people scare me. That's the thing that kind of scares me. Like not paranormal things, because paranormal things is, what I'm saying, like that's with the house. and they don't want you to. Maybe the paranormal thing doesn't want you to be.
Wait,
there,
time
but,
out. So you're telling me you think there's a ghost in one of your houses?
No, I don't. But I'm just saying.
Okay, but
there's
if I
moments.
believe in voodoo though,
I believe voodoo is a thing.
right?
Like sometimes, like whenever like I get my hair done and stuff like that, like I make sure like I dispose of it myself because like I don't want
Dispose of
anybody-
what?
Like
His hair?
my hair.
What do you mean dispose of your hair?
Like because like whenever you grow your hair long and they redo it, your hair sheds.
You know,
Oh,
like,
that's what you mean.
Yeah.
like voodoo dolls, like how you like pin
Yeah,
into
yeah.
it, and then it's,
I didn't know.
Yeah,
I didn't know
yeah.
what he meant by dispose at first.
Yeah, like sometimes I'll just be like, I'll just take it and dispose of it myself.
You think? Side note: his dad cuts his hair, so
Okay.
you think your dad's gonna get your hair?
No, but like he's like, oh,
Like whenever like I
go
get
check
it,
the
like
haircut.
whenever I'm getting my hair like done, like rebraided and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like sometimes, like if it's at my house, I'll be like, I'll throw it away myself.
think-
Let me go check the cover quick. He comes back and he's like, he's already putting on the doll. It's not what it looks like, my son.
So like,
Son, it's not what it looks like.
hey, I just don't like leaving my DNA too many places.
It's
You know
your
what I'm saying?
dad. Your dad is your DNA.
You never know, bro.
Okay, I
He might-
was-
Your parents could go make
he
another
might be a
DNA of
free-
you.
he
I
might
was
be a
joking about the
Freemason.
voodoo.
No, I'm just kidding.
I'm sorry, I was joking about the voodoo.
You don't
You're
think
joking about the
you don't
voodoo?
think karma's
You
real?
don't think voodoo's real?
I don't know. I ain't met a voodoo master.
There are definitely things out there that I don't think we understand.
Oh yeah, 100%.
There,
Yes.
there's some spooky stuff out there.
Oh, I believe in ghosts and shit.
Do you believe that like the Loch Ness monster and all those like
Oh, yeah, that'd be
cryptids
real,
are
bro.
real? Do you believe that cryptids are a thing?
I don't know about the
Some of them,
Loch
yeah.
Ness monster. Oh,
fuck you then.
Go ahead, Zach.
Here's my picture.
we're getting into some of my like specialties here.
No, that's why you want to do Parks and Rec, huh?
And it's him writing the
It's
Loch
an
Ness
excuse
monster.
to research cryptids.
Okay, so it is my belief that there are things out there that we don't understand.
Are you a monster hunter?
Maybe
Parks and Rec is his
a
day
while
job.
back, yeah. I can't say. You know, there's
NDA.
secrets.
You part of SC? You part of the SCP
This nigga's
Foundation?
hunting down Sasquatch.
Oh, this is gonna be embarrassing here. Let's just say when I was younger, I was really into Finding Bigfoot, the TV show, and I may have
close were you?
posted my own version of that is somewhere on YouTube.
You have a video of you hunting for Bigfoot.
It was under a pseudonym. I was like 12. I was like 12 at this point.
Look up Puss Slayer.
I'm in the Houston Plains, searching for Bigfoot.
He has like a trap and there's like some Cheez-Its.
I'm in my own backyard. I've heard some noises out here.
I'm in my 10 by 10 backyard. That fence is kind of fucking weird.
So did you hear like a?
Did you hear that noise? I don't know what that was.
It was like a dog barking. It's like, oh fuck!
Because like, okay, with Bigfoot, I know a lot of people like are like, there's no way there's a gigantic.
I believe in Bigfoot though.
That's
I believe
That's
realistically Bigfoot is
the thing that
a
I'm
thing.
laughing at is not that you like don't whatever or not you believe Sasquatch, Bigfoot, or the Yeti is real. Is that you watch Finding Bigfoot?
I was like 12 back then. So like,
Have y'all ever watched Finding
I
Bigfoot?
have watched a couple.
Is it like the
it's
parent?
really bad. It's really
Is
bad.
it like those paranormal shows where they're like?
It's like those shows where they're like, all right, guys. We're gonna go to this address in Alabama and find Hitler's lost treasure. No, this is Alabama, and then they'll go into like a basement of like a house built in 1972, and they'll be like, "Drat, there's nothing here." No, because Finding Bigfoot, one of like the biggest like cliches of it is it'll just be like a camera, like a world star.
Yeah.
It'll be a camera shaky, and they'll be like, "That's Bigfoot," and there'll be like a silhouette, and they'll be like, "Damn, we lost him this time."
got pretty conclusive evidence of the Bigfoot this time, and it's like this like picture that's grainy as hell, and it's like, just a dude standing in the forest.
Right.
I'm gonna put on Finding Bigfoot.
we lost an 8 foot, 300-pound behemoth. He's elusive. We have his hair though.
But okay,
So you're like every week you're like, Mom, the show's coming on.
It was Sundays at 8 p.m. Central Time.
You had gear. A backpack full of gear, some traps.
That's why he's in a rock climbing because it's like
slingshot.
I used to watch those paranormal encounters.
He has like a net.
I used to watch those paranormal encounters.
Now those are funny because it's like
especially the
wind
ones-
blows and they're like,
No, but the South American ones really do seem real, though. To me,
I don't
Yeah.
know.
they really. I believe
Okay.
that shit is real.
If there's like any like existential being or like crazy creatures out there, it's in South America or Africa.
Yeah,
There's
like
nowhere
that's
else.
very believable. Like
I will not believe that something lived by itself in like the northern hemisphere, like northeast hemisphere.
So with Bigfoot, right? Especially like this is my specialty. Like
I've triangulated his location.
So one thing that I think is like really interesting, and this isn't proof by any means, and like there's definitely room for like discourse about it, and there's proof I think both ways that go that it is. Like truthfully, I don't think there's Bigfoot like here in Texas. Like
Yeah.
a lot of the stuff around here, but once you start getting into like the Rockies in Montana and like Canada and stuff, where it is pretty untamed wilderness.
like Alaska.
He's just chilling
Yeah,
out.
like not many people are like out there like, and you do hear stories from out there. And I think another interesting thing to like look at is with a lot of like Native American populations and tribes and stuff, they do have mentions of what's called like, I know I can't remember exactly which one, but
I
like, the
know what
hairy
you're talking
man.
about. Yeah.
And so a lot of people took that as meaning a bear, but in whatever this tribe was, I can't remember, but they did have like a word for bear, and so bear was different, like in their language from whatever the hairy man was.
Yeah.
And so, and then you look at it, and there is reports from other like Native American tribes from all across the nation of this thing, and they had different names for it and stuff.
Mayak Datat? I can't pronounce that. The Hairy Man, Legend of the Hairy Beast,
Holy shit.
Bear Man and Mad Bear, Bear Grease.
Follow Bear Grease.
I don't know, man, but
I-
this is clearly something.
I find it very hard to not believe Native American quote unquote folklore or whatever people call it, but I believe that the things that Native Americans are talking about is like a real thing. Like when they tell stories about that shit, I'd be like, that shit
Okay.
is real.
On an evolution standpoint, I can kind of see it.
It would make
100%.
sense.
I mean, because I can see it. Because I mean, really think about it. When Pangea started to divide and all that, there's clearly like the seeds of humanity, and then also like it's a known fact that humanity, like I mean, Christopher Columbus was not the first one here. We already know that. Like it was like Spaniards and shit. And I'm willing to bet in that time that there was something out there that someone saw, they probably killed, and they didn't record. I'm willing to bet something was out there, but I don't think it's around nowadays.
What? You don't think he's breeding?
I believe it because the way that they did California with the bears, how they just went straight through the wilderness and just started killing all of them. I think that's kind of what they did, kind of in the early days where they just started killing things.
Well,
that
they hunted the
understand.
What do you
Yeah.
think?
I don't think if there is a population of like large humanoid ape, Bigfoots, whatever you want to call them, I don't think the population would be big. I do think there is that potential for something out there.
Yeah.
Like especially once we're getting into like the northern area. Because I mean, it's one thing I think is interesting is it's not just a North American phenomenon.
Yeah.
Like you look at it, like we have stories of these kinds of things all across the globe. There
Yeah.
does seem to be a distinct lack of them in like the European area, but that
Yes.
would also make sense because that's where like
That's where civilization, you could argue,
they've
began.
been there like forever. Like America, if these things are real and they're starting to like, deal with humans. I mean, because there is a lot more reference to it, especially with like Native American population. There's reference to it, especially like once we were doing like westward expansion.
I actually can see. Okay, I don't believe in this stuff, but if it is true, I could definitely see what happened is Native American and colonization of North America happened, and then what happened is they began migrating north, and then if they're somewhere, I'd probably believe somewhere in the Alaskan border of Canada, because technically, I don't know if y'all know this, but you can't actually drive to Alaska from Canada. You need to fly there.
Really?
It is from what I understand, you're taking this word from someone who's not well informed on this, but you need to from what I understand, is the terrain and such is it's very hard to drive to Alaska, if not near like impossible. So like it's highly recommended to just fly there or go by boat.
Yeah,
a lot of people do transportation when you get on a boat.
Oh, ferry.
Ferry.
Yeah,
thank
a
you.
good chunk of Alaska is not inhabited nor domesticated, so it's kind of
Yeah, it's mainly coastal.
yeah.
That's why also Alaska has such a tiny population. Because I mean, in reality, it would be a great. If we're going just off like the state itself, it would be a great place to live. I mean, it's a great fishing area, it's great wilderness, but you just can't live in the majority of it. So I mean, if there was another subspecies of human there or a different evolution tree from the monkey, it would be there. That's what I think.
No, I agree with that. 100%.
I kind of believe it was real because like we've been uncovering more and more species that we lived alongside of, humanoid species that we lived alongside of. So I think that was probably one of the species, and they probably just died off earlier than we expected, or we just killed them off.
And I'm not going to get too conspiracy theorist here.
Oh, please.
But like the
I'm
idea
begging.
of it, I think also hypothetically, like it would be something the government wouldn't want to be exposed.
I
Because
agree.
it would be like just
Chaos.
yeah, like the just fucking mind blown aspect of it being like, oh my god, this is real. Like this proves a whole bunch of things we've been talking about.
You want to know one of my favorite? Oh, go ahead, DJ.
I think, sorry, before you say that, I think we'll react to it the same way we reacted to the UFOs being exposed. It's kind of like, we kind of already, already knew.
True.
Well, my thing
bills
is
to
like
pay.
my genuine thing is like you show. It's like, did you ever watch Men in Black 1, the first one? There's a quote in it that I actually agree with very well when it comes to like day-to-day stuff. It's like you show one person something, they're smart, they'll handle it well. You show a group of people something and it's chaos, you know? And I genuinely think that like if there was something out there and you showed like the US population specifically the US population, they would just not know what to do. It would be chaos.
Yeah, we see Sasquatch and it's just World War III.
Yes.
Is there cryptid or something that you like actually like have a fear of, like an actual fear, like as a child, like you were just like, I never wanted to be.
Can you look up a list
Like of phobias?
of cryptids?
Okay.
It doesn't even have to be cryptids. It could be like anything, but
Wow. Okay.
I am deathly afraid of the megalodon shark.
Okay, that's fair.
I am
That's fair.
deathly afraid.
Dude, sharks are. That's fair. Sharks are crazy to me because, okay, which one do you think is older? Trees? I mean, just any type of tree. The fucking tree.
No, it's a shark, yeah.
Or sharks.
Yeah.
Sharks win by it's not close.
yeah.
And I want you to really think about it. There was a time when, like, sharks were almost bigger than, like, houses.
Yeah. Fucking inhale
Or could
us.
eat a house.
Yeah.
I grew up on the coast, right?
Oh, I'm
And
so sorry.
So it was like just the idea, like I don't go swim in the ocean unless I can like see the bottom.
You saw Jaws and you were shitting yourself.
Yes, straight up. And it was just like, it's like I don't know what's out here. I don't know what's out here. Like something could hypothetically like get me and pull me under, never seen again.
I was thinking about this. Okay, aliens, right? Specifically, like the gray alien, like your like normal alien with like the big head and a super skinny body.
Yeah.
I could take that shit in a fight.
Yes. Yeah.
But like, what if though? What if it has like superpowers?
No, a fight. I'm talking. If I'm getting abducted,
Yeah, you-
in combat.
You walk up to him and just
if it's some alien that's like my height, but like I said, bone body, but like big head. That head is bouncing off the floor. Like
a basket.
I am 90% sure that I could take an alien in a fight. Like
so
if
then
it did
what
have
is something that you're just like, I wouldn't.
Now
I wouldn't even bother.
I have one fear. I have one fear supernaturally that he knows about that I am terrified of. Giant human-sized ants.
Oh yeah.
That is my because I don't like bugs. I'm not scared of them, but like if I see like an ant or like I'll leave it alone. If I see a wasp, if it's coming at me, I'm throwing hands. I have
jumping.
posted up like a boxer to a wasp before, and I'll just start doing like this at it. But if like, have you ever played Elden Ring?
Yes.
So if you have and you go underground, at one part of it, there's like giant ants. He has to come over and sit next to me while I play it because I
rub his back.
You don't, DJ. I'm gonna pull them up. I know you've never played Elden Ring,
I sing lullabies while you run.
but like
There was this game. There was this.
no.
there's-
Hang on, let me. You gotta like see them because like they're like in high definition.
yeah, and then some of them
and-
fly.
and like some of them fly, and it's just like I'm getting the like I'm like kind of like getting weird right now. Like humans ride them in the game.
I think the idea of abnormally large animals scares me.
It's not like here's the thing. If I saw like a big like crocodile, that would not. bother me.
I'd shit myself.
No, that would like okay in a photo that would not bother
Oh,
me.
yeah.
In person, I would keep my distance. Obviously, if I saw a big lion, I'm gonna be like, okay, I expect that. But if I saw like a giant ant, and the reason why I bring up giant ants is because technically there is a possibility in unrecorded history of the
Super
world
ant.
that there was giant ants. If you really
Australia?
think about it,
They got
Yeah,
the winged
us-
spider.
stop.
I mean, think about it.
No.
Like, they could have tunnels underneath like all of this right here.
What if
Like,
there's like a prime queen?
Did you ever play
No.
Gears of War?
No,
Like that.
It's the
that's
mole
my fear.
people.
That's my fear, but with ants.
when spiders fly, I will cease to exist
I got some news for you.
immediately.
They're
I
flying.
promise you.
But you know what the thing is like even though like I don't like insects, technically we need them.
Yeah.
Like in reality, our society, our agriculture, or like let's take Australia as an example, right? If you just one day they just all disappeared, not died. I mean disappeared, like the body and everything. Australia's fucked. Australia,
I would
is
never.
done.
I would never. If my mom ever was like, yeah, I think we should all take like a family trip, and you should definitely come down to Australia with us. I'd be like, I'm not going to hell.
Do you know the history of?
I'm not going to.
Do
hell.
you know why Australia was people went to Australia in the first place? Do you know it was
Why?
for prisoners?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was for prisoners because it was like at the time it was like considered uninhabitable.
Yeah.
Yeah, uninhabitable.
Like you couldn't live there. And so just to think like creatures there.
The only history I know is the Great Emu War.
Yeah.
Where they got dusted.
I don't what are you talking about?
I don't know how many people it was, but like man lost to emu.
the emu herds had gotten like so big that I'm talking like they're riding around on back of jeeps with like Browning machine guns, like gunning down emus because they were like taking over farmland.
But they're losing.
They didn't win.
Imagine the 300 movie, but it's those
Oh my
things.
god, are you serious?
This isn't a joke. This is recorded history.
When was this?
The Great Emu War.
When was this?
But it's like with all the snakes over there, how did that population get that way?
Because nothing could stop it.
You just got to think
And
about
they got some nice. I wouldn't say they got some of the ones in the African continent, but they got some nice sized snakes out there.
guns were invented and we lost to emus.
Man lost.
Okay, but I mean, really think about it. If I'm living in Australia and I'm a prisoner, right? And I got some type of agricultural skills, the first thing I'm doing is getting rid of all like good soil near me because that's when all the bad shit is coming near me. I would never giant ants, man.
See, the thing is, if I went to Australia, there's a percentage chance I'm getting my ass whipped by a kangaroo.
Well, I want to go to specifically, if I go to Australia, I want to go for like the MMA gyms, right? Like I would love to, right? But even then, I know because a lot of MMA gyms in Australia and Thailand, and I think it's now Myanmar, formerly Burma, they have outdoor gyms, and it's like right next to like the forest or the rainforest in Thailand.
A monkey just comes in the ring.
That's actually a thing that like you have to worry about.
I wouldn't say that. I would like even with monkeys. I wouldn't say that they scare me.
Chimpanzees.
Oh,
scare the
chimpanzees
shit.
scare the
Yeah.
fuck out.
They don't. Chimpanzees don't scare me. It's like more of like a respectable fear.
That's fair. That's fair. There's like a difference
Yeah.
between that like
Those niggas are
understanding they can
monsters.
fuck you up, but being like, I'm not afraid of you.
This
am.
there
But
is
because it's like if I'm equipped enough, and I know if I'm equipped enough, but
Listen.
you can't be. But
I
it's
want you
just
to
like
think. I think I can beat an alien in a fight.
you can't
right?
beat a chimpanzee in a fight.
No, like this is one of the scariest clips I've ever seen because this man gets grabbed by a chimpanzee, an orangutan, sorry, and look at it.
And it's gonna take it.
Because if I'm him, I'm taking off I'm putting my feet on it, and I'm taking on the wall, and I'm taking off my shirt. But then he would grab my feet, and you know what he's trying.
He's grabbing some.
Do you know what
booty.
he's trying to do, DJ? He's trying to he's trying to rip his scalp off.
He's trying to fuck.
Orangutans have a history, from what I remember, and I've read briefly,
Like
is they have a
Pringle cans.
history of like, that's where not Native Americans, that's where like the idea of ripping a scalp off comes from. The phrase, not from Native Americans cutting off scalps, from orangutans just ripping off scalps and heads.
They're just it's like a toddler with like grown men.
Isn't there
strength.
a movie you told me about? Like it's like Nope or something. It's made by the guy-
Oh yeah.
yeah.
If you give me like one of the most powerful shotguns in the world, I'd feel
That's too close.
pretty fine.
But you know what the thing is?
I'd feel fine walking past one.
Walking next
but
to one
if I wouldn't
sidewalk.
face one directly, like I wouldn't be like, yeah,
But-
I'm gonna pick a fight with.
But you know what my argument is though? Is like, what if you don't hit it in an organ, like a major organ? Like let's
What if
say
you,
an
like, just hit its
let's say
finger?
an
I would
orangutan-
want it to get as close as possible.
But what if you like hit its like thumb?
Yeah, what if
Now
you hit
he's
it? What if
pissed.
you shoot a leg off? Okay, you got 3 legs of rage coming at you. What?
Okay, I'd feel pretty comfortable with the leg off though. Like,
You can outrun it.
because then it's it's gonna be there like, oh, where the fuck's my leg gone? And I'm like, I'm
Bro, what the hell?
Well, I mean, the adrenaline. You got to think about it like this: a monkey or a creature of the rainforest is not thinking to itself, "Oh, my leg got blasted off. What do?" It's thinking,
You took my leg.
"You took my leg.
You took my leg."
The objective isn't. It's not thinking what happened to my leg. It's thinking you.
I
you
would
took
want
my
something
leg.
that's gonna knock it back. Like if somebody's like, I'm gonna give you an AR or something,
I need
I
a
want you to
football
go
field.
and get rid of those things. I wouldn't take an AR.
I'm about to blow your mind. This is random. A great ape can bench 32 times its body weight. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Greater question. We've never seen a great ape at full strength.
we've never seen them hit the bench press.
Right?
Yeah, we don't know.
Let's give it like 6 months to really get its
This
PR
is
up.
This is a theoretical thing, but really think about it. Because it like walks on its palms and its arms, it's all upper body, right? But if it had leg support on a fucking bench press, that's all I gotta say.
I would like
Gorillas are the funniest animals to me, though.
gorillas. Gorillas are just
They're such assholes.
honestly like I think the animal that scares me the most are hippos. Like
Yeah.
after hearing
That's fair.
the things, and they're very homocidal.
Hippos,
They're
Homicidal.
very
What?
homicidal.
Did y'all? Oh, this is good. Do y'all know about the
On the cutting edge.
the hippo farms that they were proposing for Louisiana in the 1800s?
A hippo farm?
Do y'all not know about this?
How many?
I think I heard a little
How many
bit about it.
hippos?
It's they were okay. So we were in the middle of like something, and farmland was dying, and this guy who'd gone to Africa was like,
Hippos are the answer.
yeah, like they're basically just like sea cows or like water cows.
oh my god, you're right. Yeah,
And
I've
so they
heard.
were going to bring them over to Louisiana and create hippo farms,
Yeah, because they wanted to
And-
start.
But like, do what with them?
use them for food.
They were gonna not only that, but they were gonna stop. Is that the hippo? I don't know what that means. Is that supposed to mean hippo?
What is it? Hydro.
Hyacinth.
It's a type of flower.
Yeah. So yeah, it sounds like from what they're saying is like they wanted to stop the spread of that, so they were gonna.
Oh,
bring
mad
hippos.
cow disease.
What? No. It's like a flower that was like taking over the ecosystem.
And they were going to
that-
use hippos to do it.
Bingo.
Okay.
And so, oh my gosh, holy shit. I'm terrified of hippos, man.
Dude.
Like imagine if
Because
that
they
had
can
gone
murder you
through-
without having the attention.
I always joke with my girlfriend. I was like, I would love to have a baby hippo, but she's like, what about an adult? And I'm like, no.
It's the fact that they're animals that are too dense to swim, but yet they can run so fast underwater that they can still keep up with you.
But imagine you can tame one.
Dude.
Imagine like this is like pre
Cute.
colonization of the U.S. and like you're fighting for like
This-
land.
This is something that puts crocodiles on a T-shirt.
This is the same argument I've had with an elephant. If I could
That-
tame an elephant, I'll go.
That raises a question.
Yeah.
Like, what animal would you tame if you could tame one animal and have it as a pet?
Ooh, that's a
Easy. Elephant.
okay. My question. I have to ask a follow-up question to that. Do I have infinite money to spend on food for the animal?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because if I didn't, it would be like not even. It may a parrot.
Chinchilla.
Parrot.
I would tame chimpanzees. Imagine you have an army of chimpanzees that can rip your arm clean off
Okay, I'm not a super villain.
Okay, it's between two. For fun, I would want that like animal that doesn't have any natural predators that lives on an island, and so like people will take
Talking about
selfies. People will take selfies with this animal. You know what I'm talking about,
a
right?
dodo bird?
No, it's not a dodo bird. It's like this.
a-
It's like this little beaver thing that like.
Oh fuck! I think I know what you're talking about. Hell, that has no predator.
No, it actually. This. The quokka. Yeah, it's so cute.
It's like a jacked up squirrel.
Yeah, they don't have any. They live on an island. Like all of them are on an island. And they have no natural
I
predators.
could kick it.
So basically, yeah. So like people will go to their island, just take selfies with it, and then they'll leave. People don't do anything with it. I want that
But yeah,
Why?
because it's fucking adorable.
They're
I could have that on my shoulder and shit.
I feel that same
What
way with
can they
red
do
pandas.
for you?
Be adorable. But if I want an animal to like kill people with, crocodile.
Yeah,
Good point.
that's a
Army
solid
of
one.
crocodiles, yeah.
If I could have an animal that has a wrestling move, a killing move, and like a safety lifeguard move named after it called the gator roll,
Yeah.
as like my little like command animal, I'm winning. Or an ape, just because I could technically like the ape
like
and I
an
can play
ape.
video games together.
He could spot you.
Have you seen the clip? There's recently of a chimpanzee beating Minecraft.
Yes.
What?
Yeah,
Yes.
there's like these two chimpanzees. I know for a fact it's one, but like they beat they beat the game and everything.
It's like that fucking. It's like that philosophy thing. If you put a monkey in front of a typewriter, it'll
but
do Shakespeare.
But I don't mean in the sense like someone like started at the Ender Dragon. Like they spawned them in a world
And they figured it
and they
out.
just like go, and like two of them beat it.
I think like apes are in like the Stone Age.
At this point, yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I think they
They're
are in the
the-
Stone Age.
Yeah, they're starting to have their own fashion, but I hate how like people are like so surprised that like certain animal groups are starting to like evolve to be smarter because it's a natural thing that's supposed to happen.
It is crazy though.
it's so hard because I want a quokka, but like it's really between like a hippo because I want to ride a hippo. I genuinely
Imagine
do.
a calculated hippo.
a hippo that like understands what I need done, or
Murder.
No,
a tortoise.
imagine being chased by
A tortoise.
Okay.
I've always told him this.
like
I
a
want-
300-year-old tortoise.
Imagine being chased by an animal that is calculated. That's not normally calculated.
That's a chimpanzee. If you really
Chimpanzees can be calculated naturally.
yeah,
What is it? It's
I want a
is it
hippo.
A
is it the
dragon.
baboon. What is the difference between chimpanzee and a baboon?
I think the
let's find-
cheeks. I had that ass. I think it was cheeks,
I know there is actually
and also their nose. Yeah,
This is a fight.
and the chimpanzee would win. I like that.
I don't know. I guess I need to see a photo, but it sounds like a chimpanzee is much larger than a baboon, which is true.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact.
I know there was something I was reading for. Like,
That's a
class.
chimp. That's a baboon.
Okay, it's one. I don't remember which one it was because I saw the picture, but I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
One of them has started doing like revenge killings.
Baboons.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
and like it's just like that's fucking insane.
Like they'll murder over sex.
It's like
Mm-hmm.
you know because there was one. It was the story where one of the ones killed the other one's young. And
Yeah.
so it was like two different like groups of whatever the animal was, and one of the babies got killed in one of the groups. And so members of the other group started almost seemingly like systematically taking down members of the other group,
God, it's like
which
a-
is just like wild.
Imagine a chimpanzee mob movie. See, look at that butt.
That's because I mean I feel like they're like they're not in our lifetime, but I feel like in the next 100 years they're going to be making like axes, like really shitty axes.
They've started.
You're gonna
They've
see
started
one with
making
a
like
gun.
almost spears, which is just absolutely insane. It's
you're
like
gonna-
they've learned to like attach the rock. No, sorry, not spears, hammers.
Yeah, still,
which is crazy.
they could just start throwing hammers.
Imagine a thing that has that runs on pure adrenaline chasing you with a fucking hammer.
I mean,
They can already kill you with their bare hands already.
Yeah,
but I mean that's the thing though. With your bare, like, let's be real. A human can kill you with its bare hands, but like it needs technique in essence, right? A baboon can just using brute muscle density.
They
and
have
just
access to
pure-
that immediately.
I mean, that's a
Sorry.
good point. I think I'd almost rather face the baboon with the hammer.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
It's like they'd be like,
They still
I feel
figured
like-
it out.
Like technically, the baboon's only going to be at its strongest due to also its body posture. It's only going to be strongest when it's hitting downward. It's not going to be hitting strong. Like let's say he's over here in another. We're baboons. It's not gonna be hitting strong like that. It's only gonna be hitting strong once he pins him to the down and he hits him like that.
Yeah.
Baboons are never singular though.
That's when you start. That's when you see a baboon with boxing technique.
So imagine you get pinned down by the other ones, and then one's just.
Would you fight a kangaroo? Hang on, wearing boxing gloves.
The kangaroo's wearing boxing gloves?
Yes.
Fuck no. Wanna
Yes.
know why? Because it's
Why?
gonna get on its tail and kick the shit out of it.
Okay, but it's got the needle nails gone. Do you know what the needle nails are on kangaroos?
Needle nails.
Basically, think of a dog paw, right? But at the end of it, it's just like a super sharp nail.
Oh,
Yeah.
So they just have shivs in their feet.
Yeah, they got shivs in their feet.
You know, I think I'd do it
If you
I can
got-
take them.
Yeah.
just for the fun of it. Like, you know, see how it goes.
See, before I knew that, I said no. I
I
definitely.
don't know
say
if I
no
can
now.
find it, but okay, I typed in. Oh, that's a plant. Let me type in kangaroo feet claws. Yeah, see, look, that's it.
That's a lance.
That's gone.
Yeah, that's gone.
That's still in the equation.
That's an actual thing because let's say they. It makes sense because let's say in Australia you got a predator that's smaller than you, and it's like rushing at you. Oh, I just
Can you
lift my
look at the
foot up.
picture of its hands?
Yeah, kangaroo hands are worse. That's why I said with gloves.
I'm still not doing it.
I mean, because kangaroos are just meaty.
Look up jacked kangaroo.
I was gonna type in kangaroo flexing. Because that's how they pose up. It's all push muscles. It's all just shoulders, triceps.
Because all they do is like they come up to something and just
Okay, that's
nudge it.
fake.
I didn't realize how ugly they were.
They're disgusting.
Kangaroos? Oh yeah, dude.
They're upright donkeys.
That's a good way of saying it. I was gonna say something else, but
Like, look at the one where it's on all fours. It looks wrong.
this.
No.
Who do you think
Left.
who do you think would win in a fight though? Like, and because I think some of the, especially because I was watching Tarzan, I think some of them apes were kind of larger than what they needed to be. I don't know
Yeah.
if they're actually that big,
Yeah.
or if there's actually some that are actually a species of them that are actually that big. But like, do you think that a ape on adrenaline would beat a kangaroo?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
An ape without adrenaline would be the kangaroo.
Oh.
Kangaroo has nothing on a
Unless
gorilla.
that nail gets in the jaw or the neck,
Yeah.
it's over.
But that's like you're gonna get tackled down. They run so fast.
Are we talking like what kind of like silverback gorilla kind of thing?
Prime time.
Are you talking like the best kangaroo versus the best gorilla, or like the weakest gorilla
The
versus
best
Are we gonna
ape
death
versus
battle
the best
animals?
kangaroo.
Okay.
ape?
Yeah, ape.
Hey, who would win?
Not like a gorilla, but like
Like
the
a-
biggest ape there is. Not a gorilla though.
Okay.
So you mean like a chimpanzee?
Pretty much.
Yeah. I still take the chimpanzee.
You think
Bigfoot.
that?
Bigfoot. That's Bigfoot right there.
I saw him, I promise. The
You
fucking
think,
Jungle
you
Book.
think that?
Oh yeah, orangutans are apes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know orangutans.
Yeah.
G Blackie. Oh, that's a name. Oh God.
Yeah, I'm giving it to the orangutan, man. Look at that. Look at that devious face. He can murder a man.
A mountain gorilla famous for a selfie has died in her. Oh, okay. I thought he killed.
I'd say
They
like
look
the
like they about to.
strongest ape pound for pound, like the best pound for pound ape. Like pound for
The ape. I don't know. We've all agreed upon ape.
It's near peak man.
I don't know what.
They-
All right. So let's assume. Okay, because I know we got some.
I know what I'm
anime
saying.
people here.
We got some heated debates going
Okay.
on.
What if you're creating your title card?
Okay.
because I know I sound right.
You're creating your title card, but with animals.
Okay.
Oh.
What could be the best matchup y'all could create?
Ooh.
MMA like
That's a
team.
Okay, let's say all
Wait.
fours.
WrestleMania Royal Rumble tag team.
What? Hang on. I have to ask a very important question. What's the environment? Is it like a
I'm
cage?
talking ring.
Ring.
Okay, I had to ask one important question. Is there water in the ring?
You got the trainers on the sides with the water bottles.
Automatically grizzly.
I was going to say shark versus an
Hippo?
ape. Because I would love to see, specifically on a beach, I would
Okay.
love to see that dynamic.
If we're doing all fours, I would put an alligator versus a lion.
I want to see a grizzly versus a shark.
That's That's
A
tough.
grizzly versus a
because
shark.
I wouldn't mind doing it a gator, alligator versus some type of human who has some type of creature who has very human like structure. Because I want to see a gator roll on a fucking ape,
Yeah.
and I want to see if it works. But I also feel like a hippo versus a leopard would be fun
Ooh.
because and you add just like a tree in the middle.
And right under that card, giraffe versus kangaroo.
Oh,
you
the
know?
giraffe would destroy the
Right?
kangaroo.
I feel like they would have, unless they get the knife on the legs, though.
You know, giraffes use their neck, right? They just swing.
Giraffes have some of the hardest kicks in the animal kingdom, which is just
I'm pretty
insane.
sure there's a clip of a giraffe kicking something and it just dies.
I want to see
Side note, giraffes are also colloquially known as throat goats. I don't know how I know that, but just know I know.
I think it's this one. There's a clip of some. I know you're right, but I feel like zebra is a very close
Ooh,
second.
they're
Because
faster, definitely.
There's a clip of a zebra that I've seen a million
kicking
times.
a line and it just.
If a
And it
kangaroo can close the
it literally
distance-
hits right in the jaw, and the lion's head just turns, and then he just falls. Damn. It's like that. I don't know. I'm gonna find that zebra one first.
But yeah, if the
Yeah,
kangaroo
see,
can get
I've
in,
searched this up. I've searched this
saved
up.
and everything.
Oh my god. Yeah, because they kick like that. They kick both. feet
Yeah,
up.
they do the donkey kick.
I know. I don't
I
know
think this is
the
it.
exact name of the animal. I think it's a leopard, but I know leopards do put caimans and stuff like that on T-shirts.
Cayman?
Yeah, no, I've seen like the one like they get in the water with them.
They're adept swimmers, actually.
Ooh,
Oh, I
a
didn't see
moose.
Leopards are adept swimmers.
Because I think moose fight water animals, right?
They
fight,
do.
Yeah.
One of
Moose
the-
are crazy.
One actual recorded history in the world is they say watch out. I forget where it is, but it's in the U.S. There's a sign on the road somewhere or by a pond that says "Watch out for moose in water, will kill." And from what I understand, I don't know a lot about it, but like this moose, like some guy was in the water and the moose was trying to kill a creature in the water, and the moose thought the guy was the creature. And from what I understand, is like some lady just saw her husband's like limbs, not body, limbs come out the water, like in the movies.
Murderers, man.
No, but I'm pretty sure this is it right here. Like he sees it, boom, right there, that one. What? It's just right here where the mouse cursor is.
Madagascar Lion King.
Yeah, because it was like
crossover.
screwing with it, and then it's like I'm pretty sure it died. I don't think
They
it
knocked the fuck out.
It's just crazy. It's just crazy how they have as much access to their strength as they want. We don't. We're like I'm sure we're probably coming.
That's for
probably,
safety, though.
Probably one of the few species that only has like because I think chimpanzees they have like immediate access to that.
But I mean, if you really think about it, if you look at like weightlifting records in the past 20 to 30 years, like I think we've started to figure it out. I really do because we're abnormally getting stronger.
But do you think it's because we're figuring it out? I guess it kind of goes hand in hand, or training has just gotten that much better.
Oh,
Because I mean, like you look at it, like we're breaking all these records, but right now we are at such, in terms of like, not just weightlifting, but like the things that come after it.
Yeah.
So like I guess like the recovery aspect of it. Like I would argue it's more that than like us being able to tap into more. Like we've just become so much more adept. I mean, just looking at like technology and involved with like sports in the past 20 years, like we've just skyrocketed. And so it's like
100%.
we have more access to that technology, I think. I don't know if we're tapping into more. You know what I mean?
I now that you say it like that, I do agree because I mean, whenever the guy who beat the mile like run, I forget the
Iliad Kipchoge.
yeah. The first time it was by by like some guy who just like I think it was like a custodian or something, just some normal blue collar job, and then literally 5 years later, it was not even 5 years, like 5 months, it was just beat by like 30 seconds.
Yeah, no. So like looking at like that, like the mile. So my little brother is a like cross country runner. He does cross country collegiately.
Wow.
And so I kind of got into it a little bit. Like I personally am not a runner, but I got into like the sport of it with him when he was getting like good at it, and looking at nobody thought the 4-minute mile was breakable.
Yeah,
A 4-minute mile.
The 4-minute mile.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
For the longest time, that was seen as a unbreakable thing. Like nobody would ever break that. And it got broken in, I think, the 1950s. I'm almost positive it was like it was before I think it's 1950s, and then after that, it's been broken so many times, and like looking at it becoming more and more
54.
popular.
What's the sub? What's the most optimal run?
Because think about it like this: like when you're running a mile, in order to get to that 1 minute, because running 45 seconds, like 43 seconds, is the fastest you can run around a track in general. Ever. That's the fastest somebody's ever completed one lap around the track.
I think that may be Caleb. I don't know.
To do that at 1 minute pace, you're at a stride for 4 laps, and not even a low stride, but you're at a high stride for 4 laps.
What's the most optimum run? Like, what's the sub amount?
Optimal, like for me,
Like 2 minutes? That's crazy. That's like some gazelle shit.
I'd say probably like a minute 30.
A minute 30?
To do 1 lap.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a UFC fighter named Brandon Royval, and he fought in December, I believe, and I think he ran 16 miles at a pace of every mile was, I believe, 4 minutes and 23 seconds, and he did that for all 16 miles. I gotta find the video. And he has proof of it. Like, and it's crazy to me because I mean that's like, I'm not saying that's the standard, but like that's kind of like if you're a UFC fighter and you're fighting at the lightest weight, 125, that's what you kind of should be aiming for, if not getting every single time.
Because the stamina, Jesus, fuck,
Yeah.
dude. I can run for 2.2 seconds, and then like
I mean, when I was training, our coach was like, you need to get a mile in, if you can, 5:30. And I barely got that like one time, and that was all. And like I don't run. I don't run. And I remember thinking to myself, I was like, how the fuck is this like the standard?
My fastest mile was a 5:45. I was a sprinter though, but
I got like
I
10
probably am
minutes.
overestimating. It was probably maybe 6 or 7. I'm
a 6 is pretty good though.
But
For a person that's for a sport where running isn't your main way of
cardiovascular.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Surprisingly, it's not. It's explosive running. So it's more like
sprints.
Yeah, sprints. You jog. What a lot of guys did with us is they ran, like they jogged for 30 seconds and they just sprinted up a hill. But like it's crazy. And so no, I think if you apply all of this, like we're talking about the 4 mile, like if we just look at like the world record in like the bench press or the squat, like a good squat SBD squat bench deadlift now is like minimum 1,200.
Yeah.
And like if it's not that, then like in that specific field of weightlifting or powerlifting, it's just not good.
I can't comprehend
One thing
that.
that intrigues me though is like I hear a lot of people that are not at bodybuilding and kind of that vanity building has been becoming more of a trend and stuff like that and being more healthy. The thing that kind of intrigues me is that squatting 2 plates for some people is kind of a big deal. And I'm not taking that away from people that couldn't do it, but it's kind of like, I think 2 plates should be a standard that an average man should be able to do just in general. With
225 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Squat?
that should just
Yes.
I think that should be just a standard.
Here's the thing. I agree and disagree with that. Because I agree if you're a male. If you're a male,
I'm saying like at max performance, like when you're actually like, I'm trying.
If I'm like 150-pound male, you should be able, with training after a year, I'll go with a year, you should be able to, and you're consistent, you should be able to do a 225 squat. But if you're a woman and you can do that, no, hang on. But if you're a woman and you can squat and you can, in the same time, same parameters, and you can squat 225 and you're like 115, and you can do that, fucking pat, like props. Right. There's this woman that I saw on Instagram. I think she's like 18, 19. She recently got into the powerlifting scene. I remember she's like, yeah, I'm 119 pounds and my squat is 285. And I was like, holy shit. Like, she obviously, I messaged this person. I was just curious. I was like, how long have you been squatting? And she never responded to me. But I remember seeing like a week later one of her posts, like, she's like, I've been doing this for 2 years.
Wow.
I was like, 2 years? And you've not only doubled your body weight, but you've like 2.5. Right? It's just like, damn. Some people would like pay, like rip off their leg or their arm to have that ability. But like going back to the original question, I think it's because of technology and like now that you say that recovery, I highly think it's because now that we're smart enough to use a pen, a notebook, and our phones to record everything, that it's just like we've evolved.
Because I mean, like you look back at like early bodybuilders. Like I don't remember. I don't think it was Arnold, but it was somebody else, and he was like, after this, I just eat 18 eggs and call it a day. But now we've been able to create it where it's like
I think that was Lou Ferrigno.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And he, like now, but like you contact a company and you're like, this is my body weight composition. Here's a sample of my blood, and
this is my genetics.
And they create for you like the perfect workout stuff.
I think I agree with that, but I think when you go, I think there are some people who go. They get too control with the tiniest details.
Fuck that
the
shit.
thing about it is like in reality, in my opinion, all you need for, let's say, to get your bench up is you need to know your arm length, your height, and your weight. That's it. And then everything else is technique. That's my firm belief.
Right.
So, but I think now that we have all that ability, and if we want to go further than that with your blood type and everything like that, you can get fucking crazy with it.
So I could get yoked within a year.
If you put in the work, and genetically speaking, you have a much better genetic gene pool than I do.
You ready to be my coach?
Yeah, I mean, maybe for me, because, I had more defined legs, more defined glutes. You know what I'm saying? I came in, I didn't do any athletics in middle school or anything like that. I came into track. I remember like my first day in the weight room, dude put me on a 45 plate immediately. And I was just like, oh, this isn't as bad. And then the standard would be like, I think probably within about 2 months I was on 2 plates.
Wow.
Jesus.
Good, dude.
I was on 2 plates. But I'm saying like for as like you're going for like a 2 rep max or a 3 rep max, if you're like an average man at an average height, I think that's not a bad I think if you're living an average life, you're eating decent, you're working out moderately, I think that could be a reasonable thing that you should be able to hit. I just think people just don't have the right form. So they act like they can't. It seems like they can't hit it, but you're just not squatting the right way.
I agree.
Yeah. Was it? We're about to wrap it up, y'all.
No, you're good.
Anything you want to say to the world outside?
Anything you got, Zach?
Thanks for having me.
We're very happy you're here.
I thought I was about to say Bigfoot's real.
Coming into this, I did not think we were going to get into all this, like the animals and
I'm
shit.
very happy.
We actually went over by like an hour, which we're not complaining about.
Yeah.
We lost track of time, which is a good thing. DJ, you got anything?
Man, don't think you can fight a chimpanzee.
All right.
Find Bigfoot. He's out.
All right, bye, y'all.